Hi everyone, this is Balázs from RacingBrick and you are watching my last video of the Rebrickable series, at least in 2024. Don't worry, we will continue next year. I'm really glad you are enjoying the videos. I wanted to end the year with a big bang, with a set that I hope many of you found under the Christmas tree, so let's get back to the 1/8 scale supercars. Earlier this year, LEGO released the 5th set in this series, the McLaren P1. You can find my detailed review videos of the set on the channel. I thought it was a solid build with features that worked well, but it was perhaps not the most accurate in terms of shaping and didn't offer many technical innovations compared to its predecessors. Fans were somewhat surprised by the choice of model, as the P1 is not exactly new and the LEGO set was released just a few months before the unveiling of the latest McLaren supercar, the W1. You can already find a conversion attempt to that model on Rebrickable, but I decided to go with a different design that many of you requested. This is an alternate build of the P1 and I think it is an even more iconic McLaren, the F1 GTR. The designer is Constructions by Donat, who has several other alternate builds on Rebrickable, but you may also know him as the fan designer of the LEGO Ideas table football set. This is an alternate build or a B model of this one, which means that all the parts come from the official set. Let's talk about the look first. There are quite a few differences between the two cars, both the LEGO versions and the real ones. I found these comparison photos, here you can see the differences. I think the F1 GTR has captured the overall shape very well, and there are lots of nice details too. I've read some negative comments about the lights, but honestly I think the part usage is very clever, both front and rear, and they look pretty accurate. The lines flow nicely on the door and side panels, even the central fin is represented, which I'm sure wasn't easy to achieve. The rear also has the signature features, the huge wing, the lights. I like the use of the black half beams to replicate the vent holes, and we also have the exhaust pipes and the diffuser in place. I particularly like how the stripes have been recreated with the half beams at the front and top, it adds a lot to the look. There's the air intake at the top and this is the engine cover. Switching to the functionality, the engine cover can be opened like this, it snaps in place nicely and does not move when it is closed. By default, you can't see much detail in the engine bay, but it is possible to fold out these panels and then the BMW-sourced V12 engine is revealed. You can see it running when we push the car or you simply rotate the wheels. Now let's open the doors. The mechanism is very complex, it is similar in principle to the original solution, but the part usage is different in many places. It works okay, there is a slight collision here with the small panel fairing, but it's not serious. A bigger concern is the support for disassembly with the bigger panel fairing. It can come loose if you are not careful, as it is held in place by a single pin. The interior has many details, such as the central driver's seat with the steering wheel that is connected to the front wheels. On one side there is a passenger seat, the other side has the gearbox, more on that in a moment. There is independent suspension at the front and rear, with some travel at the back, but there is virtually no gap at the front to keep the car as low as possible. And now for the gearbox. The concept is very different from the original design, it has 6 gears plus reverse. It works like in the real car, this is neutral, then we have to move the lever sideways, this is first gear, then second. You can see how the transmission elements are pushed as I move the gear stick. This is third gear. Then comes fourth, then we have to move the stick to the other side, this is fifth gear, and finally sixth. The reverse gear is even trickier, we shift back into neutral, then to the side, and we have to push the lever down and reverse gear is engaged. As you can see, the fake engine really does run in reverse in this case. So the theory behind the gearbox is fascinating, but the execution is a bit fragile, mainly because of the limited part inventory and space. As you could see, it is possible to shift the gears, but the assembly at the top might fall apart after a while, the half beams have to be pushed back in place. I asked the designer about this, he said he wanted to implement a solution that worked like the original and didn't want to make it too big, so he had to sacrifice some stability for that. While I don't think many people will actually play with the gearbox, I personally would prefer things to be stable rather than accurate in this scenario. Otherwise the car is pretty solid by the way, most of the surfaces are fixed. There are a few areas that could be better, like the panel on the door I mentioned earlier, the smaller one that collides with the door, and there are a couple of flappy sections elsewhere, but you really have to look for those. You can lift the car up with no problem, things don't fall off by themselves. You may also find a few uncovered pins here and there, or sections where the absence of more parts is clearly visible. These can be fixed if you use a few extra pieces from your parts collection. All in all, I really like the look. The body sculpting is quite impressive, the panels flow nicely, and considering it's a B model, I think Donna did a good job. On the other hand, since the gearbox is usually the highlight of these sets, I would have preferred a more stable solution there, even if it were less accurate. Apparently Donna decided to go the other way, and I can't blame him for this, because most people won't be playing with the gearbox after building the set anyway. One thing is for sure, if you bought this set already or just got it for Christmas, this build offers a very different and enjoyable building experience with an impressive end result that also looks great on the shelf. The mock has detailed, easy to follow digital building instructions, and you can buy it now with an exclusive 20% discount by using the promo code RacingBrick20. It is valid until the end of this week. You can find the link below in the description and also in the pinned comment. Please let me know how you like the car and if you plan to build it. Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications because more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.